Welcome to episode 4 of Hot Markets. I'm your host, Ben. And today, we'll be taking a look at Palantir stock because it is absolutely on fire recently. Up 158.84% year to date, 74.34% from this time last year, and 111.95% from the beginning of March. So we'll be taking a look at whether or not I can justify owning this stock while it's trading at a forward PE of around 75 and a market cap of $30 billion. Before we get any further into this video, if you don't know what Palantir is or what they sell or what they really do, I highly recommend going and checking out my last video, What is Palantir? Because when you invest in Palantir, you're really betting on the widespread adoption of their products. Now, to explain what Palantir is and their competitive advantage in just 2 sentences for those of you who don't want to go check out the last video, which was a banger, Palantir is an AI-powered software data analytics company. Their competitive advantage is that they've been working with the United States government in highly classified fields for the last 10 plus years. A lot of the discussion around Palantir stock revolves around their products, whether or not they're real AI or if it's just bogus. But as an investor, I really don't care whether it's real AI or not. All I care is that it works and that it's the best of the best, even though I do know that it is real AI. But how do I know that this product works? Well, the United States government used it to find Osama bin Laden, uncover 2 Chinese spying operations, one that penetrated the Dalai Lama's computer, and also improved detection of IEDs in Afghanistan. Just look at soldier spoken testimony. Okay, but that's not really the point. The point is that the product works. It freaking works, and it's amazing. So let's go back to their competitive advantage: effectiveness, reliability, and stability. Luckily for me, the Times Magazine wrote an amazing piece just on these 3 things, just a little indirectly. So let's have a look. There is a sense of uneasiness when the screen lights up. Excitement, yes, because you're being shown a new way to fight a war, having gained access to a perspective until now closed to human perception, but also modesty because the action is down below, 1,000 miles below, and all the courage and suffering of the battle are so distant as to almost lose their human meaning. In a recent visit to Palantir's office in London, I was able to witness firsthand how the firm's superior data technology really works. I have not been able to stop thinking about the experience ever since. Obviously, it was pretty incredible. The guy says he couldn't stop thinking about the experience. All right, so moving on now to the 3rd paragraph. Keep in mind that Ukraine was supposed to be losing the war in just 3 days, and now they're still standing about a year and a half later. Pretty incredible. This is all thanks to Palantir's technology, essentially. The following scenario has been described to me by a Ukrainian commander rather than Palantir, which does not comment on operational details. As Ukraine launches several and potentially dozens of thrusts across the full front line, Russia has to bring reserve forces out of hiding, which Ukraine can track in real time using satellite and drone imagery, as well as visual recognition algorithms, and target with unprecedented speed and precision. Before the start of the current offensive, and now in its early stages, Ukraine has spent weeks shaping the battlefield by destroying command and control centers, logistics and munitions depots deep behind enemy lines. In some cases, it used the newly available and long-range Storm Shadow missiles. I don't know how, after watching my last video, hearing spoken testimony after spoken testimony, reading that Times Magazine article, dispute that this is real AI. This stuff is powerful as hell, and it is being used in the real world. The one argument that is actually credible is that this could easily be used as spyware on ordinary citizens. But as it pertains to investing, I really don't care. That being said, what does the effectiveness and reliability of Palantir's product in a military situation mean for their ability to sell it as a commercial product? And there's a very simple answer to that question. Imagine you're managing operations at a hospital and you need to make room for a new patient or something. As of right now, to gather the current availability information, remaining recovery time, and whether or not you could move a current patient to another room, you have to navigate complex software and scour through files to see whether or not this is possible. But with Palantir, you could simply type into your tailor-made large language model, how can we make room for patient 4321 in this facility, and it would give you 3 options, or 4 options, or 5 options, depending on how many options you ask for. With the risks and all the other things that come along with it, it will put it right there nicely in front of you. Then you can choose which option you want and execute it, and then have the patient moved accordingly. It's all stored in one database that's automatically updated, super easy, super clean. Just by doing that, you could reduce patient wait times by about 30%. Now here's where I tricked you. because this isn't hypothetical. Well, yes, it is hypothetical that you're the one managing the operations. This is actually already happening, and it's reducing patient wait times dramatically by doing exactly this. So how big is Palantir's total addressable market? Palantir estimates that the total addressable market for their product is about $119 billion. Now, I believe that they're selling themselves a little bit short here, as they usually do to Wall Street, but we're going to stick with the $119 billion for the sake of this example. Let's just say, in another hypothetical situation here, that Palantir captures 25% of that market. They'd be doing $29.75 billion in revenue. This revenue would result in extremely large profits because they're a software business and have extremely high margins. In addition, this revenue will be recurring because of how sticky their product is. I cannot emphasize that enough. Their product is super sticky. It's like a drug. You're not going to be able to get off of this one. So let's talk a little bit about the current company financials before wrapping up. I believe that Palantir is sandbagging Wall Street hardcore pertaining to their next earnings call. And here's why. Let's take a look. In the first quarter, Q1 2023, revenue was $525 million. Great. Projected Q2 earnings is between $528 and $532 million. Let's split the difference and call it $530. And for the full year, Palantir projects revenue between $2.185 billion and $2.235 billion. Splitting the difference again, and that's $2.21 billion. This is really suspicious, and here's why. $525 million from Q1 and $530 million from Q2 is $1.055 billion. This means that Palantir expects to produce $50 million more in revenue in the back half of the year compared to the front half. This is all despite rapidly increasing customers and claiming that demand for their product is larger this month than it's been in the history of the company. Alex Karp claims that he's getting phone calls left, center, and right for this product. All the suspiciousness and sandbagging aside, it looks like the stock market has ignored this, and rightfully so. Before signing off, I must address Palantir's unprofitability in the past. Palantir has been a very unprofitable company. That being said, when you're investing in Palantir, you're investing in the widespread adoption of their commercial products. This adoption will increase revenue dramatically, therefore increasing profits because Palantir operates at high margins. They're a software company. And their profits will continue to accelerate as they decrease stock-based compensation over the years, and eventually it flattens out, as Alex Karp has said in interviews. In addition, you also have to remember that Palantir is competing with the biggest companies in the world. We're talking about Google, Microsoft, Amazon. So they have to pay large stock-based compensation to their employees if they want them to stick around. But as Palantir continues to accumulate these large contracts, they're going to have to do this less and less. In conclusion, Palantir has an incredible product that will increase the efficiency of any business that opts to use it. They have tremendous pricing power, they operate on high margins, and their product is very sticky. For those reasons, I'll be accumulating a small position in the company over the next several weeks, and I will be in it for the long haul, as I am with all my picks. Palantir's business is a difficult one to model out, but I'm in it for the long haul, and I believe that the potential is there. And for those reasons, I can justify buying it at a 75 forward price to earnings ratio. That's it for this episode of Hot Markets. The Exchanger, signing off. Peace.